Okay, I'm sorry, hang on just 1 second. All right, we've got the video going back again. All right, what was your question?
On the and only last step, I didn't get that.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was shade the overlap for ands only. All right, so let's do another example. All right, now, is this one an and or an or? It's an and. So you're going to have 3 columns. You're going to work within those 3 columns, and at the bottom, at the end, you're going to make sure you still have 3 columns. All right, so let's rewrite the problem here. We've got 17 is less than or equal to 7 plus 2b is less than negative 1. And if you see where your inequality signs are, that's where your columns would be. So that middle section in between the 2 inequalities is considered 1 column. And in that middle section, we need to do some work to get b by itself. So we have a 7 in there, and we have a 2 in there, and we need to get both of those off of there. The 7 is attached with addition and subtraction, so that's the first thing we move. So we minus 7 from the middle. And if we do that to the middle, we do it to the outside on both sides, because all 3 get the same treatment. 17 minus 7 is 10. Sign doesn't change because we didn't divide or multiply by a negative. The 7's cancel out, and we're left with 2b in the middle. And then that sign didn't change. Negative 1 minus 7 is negative 8. That's step 1. Still need to do a little bit of work to get that b by itself. Now there's a 2, but it's attached with multiplication, which means we're going to divide by 2, divide by 2, and divide by 2. And again, right, our sign doesn't change because we didn't divide by a negative. So in the middle is our b, all alone now. Our sign on this side doesn't change. Our sign over here doesn't change. And then 10 divided by 2 is 5. And negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. And now we're ready to graph. And now this is, you should still have 3 terms, and we do. We have 5 is less than or equal to b, which is less than negative 4. We're going to graph this as two inequalities. The first one is the b goes with the number on the left. And we have to read this one backwards. So first it's a 5. Are we going to put an open or a closed circle on 5? Close. Now you'll notice you run out of line. Just add it. It's okay. Okay, the 5 is about right there. It doesn't have to be exact. And we decided it was closed because it's greater than or equal to, so we put a closed circle on 5. And then you have to read it backwards, right? You got to read the b first, and then you got to decide if the greater than is facing the b, and it is. So all b is greater than 5, and that is this direction. Okay? Now we're going to look at the b with the other side. So we're going to put this together. And that is at negative 4. And is it going to be open or closed? Open. And it reads all b's less than negative 4. So we go this direction. Now we already decided that this is an and. So that means there's one last step on the and that is to shade the overlap. Where's the overlap here? There isn't any. So does this have a solution? Is there a part on the line where it's purple and green? So the answer is no solution. So there are still special cases, just like when we were doing them last week and earlier this week, where you can have an all real numbers or a no solution. You can have that here as well. Now, we just looked at number, oops, don't like that. Okay, we just looked at this one, and we had the lines going opposite directions, and it wasn't a no solution. So number 4 wasn't a no solution, but number 5 is a no solution. What's the difference? Andrew?
Number 4 has or in it.
Right. When it's an or, it's okay that they don't overlap. The only time overlap matters is on the and. Okay, so for number 5, there's no overlap, but because that's an and, that means it's no solution. Good. All right. So let's look at number 6 now. And you can see that I've kind of added to the end of that because we're going to need a little bit longer number line, but that's okay. We'll get there. All right, so number 6 is an or. So that means I'm going to work the first one on the left first. So I've got 10 plus a is greater than or equal to 0. And since it's an or, I'm going to work this one all by itself first. So I'm going to go negative 10 and negative 10. And that gives me a, and I don't change my sign because I haven't divided or multiplied by a negative. 0 minus 10 is negative 10. And I'm ready to graph that one. It's an or, so I'm going to graph this one. And at the negative 10, open or closed? Closed. Good, because it's an or equal to. And it's all a's greater than negative 10. So that means we go this way forever and ever and ever and ever until we run out of screen. Okay? All right. Now let's work the other side. So I'm going to put a little squiggly line here. And now I'm going to work 6a plus 8 is greater than 50. And I'm going to subtract 8 and subtract 8. And that gives me 6a is greater than 50 minus 8 is 42. And then we divide by 6. And we divide by 6. And I divided by a positive, so my sign doesn't change. And 42 divided by 6 is 7. And now I'm ready to graph that one on the same number line all by itself. So I go to the 7, and like I said, you can see my number line wasn't long enough to include that 7. So I just extended it out and I put a 7 out there somewhere. It does not have to be exact, but just in the vicinity of where the 7 would be. And would it be open or closed? Be open, right? And then it's all a's greater than 7. Well, that's going the same way. And I've got it, can't really see it because I can't, whoops, it won't let me scoot my screen over, but it keeps going this direction. Sorry, it keeps going this direction. Okay, the green does. So your answer or your solution is either the pink or the green. Well, the pink starts at negative 10 and goes up, and the green starts at 7 and goes up. So your solution would be really anything from negative 10 up. But since it's an or, there's no need to go back and like shade anything darker, okay? You're good once you graph them both. Any question on that or? All right. We got 2 more examples. All right, this one is an and. So I'm going to write it here. Negative 27 is less than or equal to negative 6p minus 9 is less than 15. All right, this is an and, which means we've got the 3 columns. That middle column has our variable in it, and we want to get that by itself. So we're going to we got to get the negative 6 and the negative 9 off. We always break loose subtraction and addition first. So that means I'm going to add 9. And when I do it to the middle, I do it to the 2 outsides as well. So negative 27 plus 9 is negative 18. My sign doesn't change. That goes away, and I'm left with negative 6p in the middle. Sign doesn't change. 15 plus 9 is 24. Now I need to get the negative 6 off, so I'm going to divide by a negative 6, and I'm going to do that to all 3. Now I just divided by a negative, which means before I do anything else, I'm going to come in here, yep, and I'm going to flip that sign, and I'm going to flip that sign. I want them opposite. Now my p goes in the middle. Negative 18 divided by negative 6 is positive 3, because a negative and a negative goes positive. And then 24 divided by negative 6 is negative 4. And now we're ready to graph. And remember our middle variable, we're going to take it, whoops. We're going to take that middle variable. I like to do it with the colors. I'd like to keep it consistent, so let's get the pink out there. All right, so this P, first we're going to lump it with this side. So we're going to put a circle on 3, and is it going to be open or closed? Open or closed? Closed, good. And we got to read it backwards because you always read your variable first. So it's all P's less than 3 because the small side is pointing to the 3's. So you want to shade the 3's that are smaller than, or the P's that are smaller than 3. So that's this direction. Okay. And now we want to take that middle variable and we want to lump it with the other side. And we want to graph it here. So at negative 4, open or closed? Open. And it's all P's greater than. So we're going to go this way. And since it's an and, what's our last step? Shade the, what? Shade the overlap. This is your solution. If you just leave it with the pink and the green, and you don't come back and shade the overlap, then it's an incomplete answer. Okay? All right, one more. We're going to kind of run through it quick. It's an or, which means we're going to work them separate. And I'm going to go through the math of this pretty quick because we're running out of time, but just know this video is on Canvas and you will be able to go back and watch it if you need to. So we've got 3p plus 3 is greater than 18. We're going to subtract the 3 from both sides, giving us 3p is greater than 15. Divide both sides by 3, and you get p is greater than 5. Okay, I'm going to graph that one. At the 5, I'm going to go open, and it's all p's greater than, so I'm going to go this direction. And then on the other one, I've got 8 minus 7p is greater than negative 41. I'm going to subtract 8 and subtract 8, giving me negative 7p is greater than negative 49. I'm going to divide by negative 7. When I divide by a negative, I got to flip my sign. And I get 7 is less, or p, sorry, not 7. P is less than negative 49, and negative 7 is positive 7. So I'm going to graph that one. So I'm going to go to positive 7, which is off my line, so I'll just put it on there. It's an open circle at 7, and it's all p's less than. So it's this direction. But since it's an or, do I need to shade my overlap? No. Nope, you're done. This is your answer. If you want to get real technical, you could write all real numbers because the green or the pink, it covers everything because they go forever left and right. Okay? All right, your homework is on Canvas. It's on the home page. It says Indicator 2, Day 2. It is 2 pages long. It's all of today's and tomorrow's work, and it is all due on Thursday. Okay? Email me if you have any questions. I will be here at the school all day tomorrow for phone call, video chat, or email answers or questions, okay? All right, I will see you all Thursday.